Welcome back to update you on the electoral process inside the governorate that is happening now, a rerun there. And of course we have with us our Nile TV correspondent Ahmed Nader from Giza Governorate. Good afternoon, Ahmed, once again.
Good afternoon, Dina. How are you?
Everything's fine over here. Give us the latest updates from where we are situated, Ahmed.
Yes, Dina, as a roundup for the day, because I have been here since the early hours of the morning for the second day of the parliamentary elections for the Egyptians living inside Egypt. We have seen at the beginning of the week the Egyptian expatriates, they cast their votes, they cast their ballots, and right now this is the second day for the parliamentary elections in the governorate of El Giza, in 9 different other governorates, including Alexandria, for example, Behaira, Fayoum, El Minya, big governorates. One of the big governorates geographically and demographically in terms of population as well, is the governorate of El Giza. It has 6.5 million inhabitants, 6.5 million citizens living in the governorate of El Giza, which is like an extension to Upper Egypt, and it has 5 million eligible voters. Today in the parliamentary elections for the second day, we are witnessing the elections over the list system, not the individual system, because we have seen some individuals already winning majorities, and they have won their seat in the upcoming parliament for this year in 2025. As for the day, we will be expecting a higher voter turnout after 6 p.m. Because we can see now a lot of people finishing work, going home, so there will be a window between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Maybe after that a lot more people will be coming and casting their vote after finishing work. During the day we have seen a lot of people, as you mentioned in the past hour, a lot of women, female voters, they have come here and they have cast their ballots as well, easily and fast, because it is organized by the Ministry of Interior. We have female police officers, male police officers, and they are overlooking the situation, or they are supervising and observing the situation in terms of people coming in and out of the polling station with the identification cards, IDs. They are being seen and they are being checked by the police officers during their entrance to the polling station, as you can see behind me, until now. And it is easier for them to be casting their ballots and votes and going out of it as soon as possible, Dina.
Right, Ahmed, as we are on our final countdown in terms of hours to end the second day of the electoral process, exactly from your own assessment, you have been covering where you are now, and by now you might have a full assessment of what exactly, when exactly is the highest turnout for citizens, and what if it could be also a categorical assessment. I mean, in the morning, could it be the elderly people? Midday, it could be youth, and by the end of the day, it could be men, because people coming out of their work and finishing their working day. I mean, explain to us.
Well, in my opinion, Dina, I think what is amazing and interesting is that it is more about the young people, the young men, the young women, the youth of Egypt. They are interested in participating in the parliamentary election, especially in this governorate and in this geographical place, to be specific. Maybe they have seen the measures that were taken by the National Elections Authority, the veto that was used by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, to be stating that citizens need to be voting, they need to be participating, they need to be choosing well someone who will be representing them in the upcoming parliament. So I see this spirit, I feel this spirit of the young men, of the young women, the youth of Egypt. They are here and they are participating ever since the early hours of the day, since 9 a.m. and more specifically, as you mentioned, since 1 p.m. and until 3 or 4 p.m. Right now we can see more of the elderly people, more of the female voters, middle-aged citizens. But at the beginning of the day, in the early morning, it was more about the young men and the young women of the governorate of Al-Giza. They have come here, they are very enthusiastic to be participating in the parliamentary elections. One more time, this is the rerun for the second phase, or the rerun for the Giza governorate for the parliamentary elections, and this is the second day. So as you mentioned, it is the countdown to the final hours of the day, Dina, but maybe things will change in the upcoming 4 to 5 hours.
As we are speaking of Giza governorate, which is really, like you mentioned, is densely populated, and it is the location also of Giza might cause a little bit of disturbances when it comes to traffic jam and all that. What have Giza governorate been taking as precautions and preparations in the rerun to be able to facilitate the traffic for people to mobilize from one polling station to the other? Usually those polling stations are schools, maybe. So how exactly have the Ministry of Interior and the traffic been organizing this particular difficulty?
Yes, as you mentioned, Dina, and I will let you see the traffic behind me. The cars, they are coming right here because there is a lot of people finishing work. As I mentioned, work is from 9 till 5. So a lot of people, they have finished work and they will be going, as you mentioned, to different parts of the governorate. Right now I'm at the school or the polling center of Mohammed Quraim near Al-Bahr Al-Azam street, one of the main streets of the governorate of Al-Giza, from Al-Munib to the neighborhood of Ad-Du'i, which is also witnessing the parliamentary elections in the governorate of Al-Giza. So it is a main big street. A lot of people are on the streets now, maybe going home, and then they will be, as I mentioned, having the window of from 7 till 9 p.m. to be going and casting their ballots, to be participating once again for the rerun of the parliamentary elections here in the governorate of Al-Giza. As for your question, the measures of the Ministry of Interior, the measures of the Ministry of Health as well. We have seen coordination by the Ministry of Interior. A lot of police officers are organizing the whole process in the polling center at Mohammed Quraim school, for example. We have seen police officers on the streets, securing the streets and organizing traffic as well, as he mentioned. And speaking of the efforts of the Ministry of Health, there's an ambulance here. I have seen this ambulance all over the day. It has been situated and located just on the other side of the street from the polling center for any emergency for the elderly more specifically, and there is a medical team located within the polling center, within the polling stations for any emergency and for even medical checkups for the elderly. So there is a coordination between the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Health, and more importantly, the Ministry of Interior and the police officers and the security forces, they are here to be organizing, to be assisting, to be helping, to be directing people going into the polling station in and out as soon as possible and as efficiently as possible, Dina.
Also, Ahmed, wondering, usually at this time, I mean, if there is a rerun in this in a polling station, besides to the, of course, many thanks to the Ministry of Interior and Health Ministry and other ministries who are in collaboration of this electoral process, do you feel a real presence for civil society? Probably they're offering their assistance to people with determination, probably with the elderly, when it comes to awareness of constitutional rights and all that. Is there did you monitor civil society inside I mean, during those 2 days?
Well, to be honest, I have not seen any representative for the civil societies or the civil organizations or even volunteers Because as I mentioned, it is more about the Ministry of Interior, about the police officers, about the security forces. They are here and they are assisting the people with disabilities, for example, the elderly. The female police officer is guiding the female voters who are coming and queuing up or queued up on the first day, and maybe early on in the second day of the parliamentary elections. They were here and they assisted the police officers, female police officers and male police officers. They assisted the voters to be going into the polling stations and the polling centers and out of it as soon as possible, as efficiently as possible. The logistics are being taken care of solely by the Ministry of Interior. To be honest, I have not seen any representatives for the civil society organizations, but I have seen the measures taken by the Governorate of Al-Giza as well. Engineer Adil Al-Nagar, he has been checking up with or within the operations room, the central operations room, any logistics needed, any assistance needed by the Ministry of Interior and the Governorate of Al-Giza. He was ready to answer them.
The usual question that I'm supposed to ask you, and that should be asked by the end of every coverage and that you are posting,
Yes.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how do you see the like an update, a promising update over the re-election, I mean the electoral process, the rerun of the electoral process, monitoring irregularities or violation or things like that? How do you estimate it?
No, in terms of violations and irregularities, I have not seen anything that would be leading this way. We do know that this is the rerun for the parliamentary elections in the Governorate of Al-Giza. Due to the violations that you have mentioned, Dina, in the first time, in the first phase, this has not been the case this time around. I have not seen anything worth reporting in terms of violations, and I think if there was any problem, it could have been reported even by the head of the Executive Committee of the National Elections Authority, Councillor Ahmed Bindari. We have seen several press conferences over the past week. It's not just about today, but for the Egyptian expatriates over the past couple of days, for today and yesterday, for the Egyptians casting their votes and participating in the parliamentary elections over 2 days in 10 different governorates, 30 annulled constituencies. 7 of them are here in Al-Giza, and big districts as well, including Omraniya, for example, Manshiyat, Al-Anatar, other big districts that it has a lot of eligible voters. So if there were any violations, once again, they would have been reported, but I have seen none here, Dina.
In other words, we are confirming that this particular voting experience for the citizens of Giza is rated as far more better than the first one.
Of course, yes.
Well, Ahmed Nader from Giza Governorate would like to thank you so much, and all the best until the end of the day. May you take care. And we'll be keeping you posted from every polling station where there is a rerun located there, and if there are any irregularities, how things are going, and if also there were some new updates concerning if there is going to be another rerun. Of course, actually, we are monitoring a minute-by-minute coverage of the electoral process that is taking place in all the polling stations where that were annulled in the first time, and of course we're making sure to bring you a transparent coverage, a transparent image, a real image. We're also taking surveillance from different citizens who are flocking. Actually, you could monitor the age bracket throughout the day according to the time element. I mean, in the early morning you could find a different category that is going to the polling station. Then at the midday, afternoon, you could find another category. By night time, it's totally different. Make sure that you join us on Nile International for an hour-by-hour coverage of the electoral process 2025 for the parliamentary elections. Stay tuned.